Have you ever wondered about the origins of the fierce Viking warriors and their impact on Nordic culture? Let's take a journey back in time to the Viking Age, a compelling period in Northern European history that spanned from the late 8th to early 11th century. It was an era that witnessed the rise of the Vikings, a seafaring people known for their unparalleled maritime prowess and exploration spirit. The Vikings were not just warriors or raiders, they were explorers, traders, and settlers, venturing far beyond their Nordic homelands. Their longships, remarkable for their speed and agility, navigated the rough North Atlantic, reaching as far as North America long before Columbus. They sailed east to the rich cultures of the Byzantine Empire and the Abbasid Caliphate, establishing trade routes that connected disparate parts of the world. Yet there was more to Viking life than just exploration and trade. The Vikings lived in a complex societal structure, governed by laws and bound by a deep sense of community. Their society was divided into three main classes: the nobles or jarls, the freemen or carls, and the slaves or thralls. Each had their role in the Viking society, from warfare to farming, crafting, and trading. The spiritual life of the Vikings was equally fascinating. They practiced a polytheistic religion, venerating a pantheon of gods and goddesses: Odin, Thor, Freya. These were not just characters from modern-day comic books, but deities that the Vikings worshipped, each with their own intricate mythology and purpose. These myths and legends, full of heroes and monsters, of epic battles and magical artifacts, were not mere tales. They were an integral part of the Viking worldview, shaping their understanding of the universe and their place within it. Thus, the Vikings, often seen as mere raiders, were in fact a complex society with a rich culture that significantly influenced Nordic history. They left an indelible mark on the world, not just through their daring voyages and trades, but also through their unique societal structure, religion, and mythology, a mark that continues to resonate in the Nordic culture till this very day. As the Viking Age waned, how did the Nordic societies evolve, one might wonder? Well, the 11th and 12th centuries were a time of great change in the Nordic region. The tribal societies that had defined the Viking Age gradually gave way to more organized political structures. This transition was not sudden, but a gradual process that took place over centuries. A significant catalyst in this shift was Christianity. The adoption of Christianity by the Vikings around the end of the first millennium brought about considerable changes. This new religion, with its emphasis on hierarchy and order, played a substantial role in the shift from tribal societies to organized kingdoms. It provided a unified structure and a common set of beliefs that helped bind these emerging kingdoms together. As these societal changes took place, we see the formation of more recognizable political entities. The kingdoms of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden began to take shape during this period. Denmark, for instance, was united under a single monarch by the mid-10th century. Norway followed suit in the 11th century, and by the 12th century, Sweden had also become a unified kingdom. These newly formed kingdoms were far from the loose tribal societies of the Viking Age. They had centralized authorities, systems of law, and bureaucratic structures. They also had clearly defined borders, a concept that was relatively foreign to the Vikings. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. This transition period was fraught with conflict, both internal and external. The establishment of these kingdoms often involved wars of unification, battles for control, and struggles against external threats. Yet, despite these challenges, the Nordic societies persevered. They successfully navigated the turbulent waters of change and emerged as more organized and structured societies. The kingdoms they formed during this period would go on to play significant roles in European history. This period marked the beginning of a new era where the Nordic societies started to form more organized political structures. This formation laid the groundwork for the future development of the Nordic region, paving the way for the modern Nordic societies we know today. What were the dynamics of these new Nordic kingdoms, you might ask? Well, let's dive into the fascinating history of the formation and consolidation of these Nordic kingdoms. During the Middle Ages, the Nordic countries gradually transitioned from being a collection of Viking chiefdoms and tribes to unified kingdoms. This transition was a complex and often turbulent process, marked by wars, alliances, and power struggles. One of the most significant events in this period was the formation of the Kalmar Union in the late 14th century. This union brought together the kingdoms of Denmark, Sweden, and Norway under a single monarch, Queen Margrethe I. This was a significant milestone in Nordic history, as it represented the first time these kingdoms were united under a single rule. However, the Kalmar Union was not without its challenges. Political tensions and conflicts, particularly between Denmark and Sweden, led to its eventual dissolution in the early 16th century. Despite its short lifespan, the Kalmar Union had a profound impact on the political landscape of the Nordic region. These kingdoms played a vital role in European politics, trade, and culture. For instance, Denmark and Norway controlled vital trade routes in the North Sea, while Sweden had rich iron ore deposits that were highly sought after in Europe. Moreover, these kingdoms were known for their unique culture, which was influenced by their Viking heritage. They produced remarkable works of literature, art, and music, many of which have been preserved and are still admired today. In addition, the Nordic kingdoms were pioneers in the development of some of the earliest parliamentary systems in Europe. These early forms of representative government laid the groundwork for the democratic traditions that are a hallmark of the modern Nordic states. These kingdoms' formation and evolution were instrumental in shaping the history and identity of the Nordic region. Each kingdom's unique journey contributed to the rich tapestry of Nordic history. So, in answering the question, what were the dynamics of these new Nordic kingdoms? We can say that they were a complex mix of political maneuvering, cultural exchange, and economic development. The formation of these kingdoms laid the foundation for the modern Nordic states we see today. How did the Nordic societies adapt to the winds of change in the modern era? This is a question that takes us to the pivotal era of the 18th and 19th centuries, a time that witnessed the dramatic impacts of industrialization and modernization on the Nordic societies. The Nordic countries, just like the rest of Europe, were not immune to the sweeping changes brought about by the Industrial Revolution. The once predominantly agrarian societies began to shift towards industrial economies, a transformation that was both profound and irreversible. The quiet, rural landscapes started to give way to bustling, smoke-billowing factories and urban centers. This process of urbanization was not merely a geographical shift, but a complete reconfiguration of societal structures and dynamics. With the onset of industrialization, the Nordic societies saw a significant increase in wealth and productivity. This, however, wasn't without its challenges. The transition from an agrarian to an industrial economy led to a stark contrast between the haves and the have-nots, a divide that was further exacerbated by the rapid urbanization. The struggle for resources and wealth distribution became more apparent, leading to social unrest and calls for change. Amid this backdrop of change and uncertainty, the seeds of modern political ideologies began to sprout. The Nordic societies, known for their egalitarian ethos, began to grapple with these new ideas, leading to the emergence of social democratic movements. These movements sought to redress the imbalances caused by industrialization and to ensure a fair distribution of wealth and resources. In the crucible of industrialization and modernization, the Nordic societies were reshaped, refined, and ultimately reinvented. They navigated the turbulent waters of change with a steadfast commitment to their core values of equality, fairness, and social solidarity. Their response to these changes was not merely reactive, but proactive and visionary. And so, this period of transformation set the stage for the emergence of the Nordic Model, a model that would come to define the Nordic societies in the years to come, and one that continues to inspire and intrigue the world today. What exactly is the Nordic Model, and how did it come about, you might wonder? Well, let's delve into that. At its core, the Nordic Model is an economic and social framework that's been adopted by countries in Northern Europe. This includes Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. The model is characterized by a comprehensive welfare state, high levels of income equality, and a high standard of living. It's a system that blends elements of capitalism and socialism, aiming to achieve both economic efficiency and social equity. The comprehensive welfare state is a cornerstone of the Nordic model. It provides extensive health, education, and social services to all citizens, regardless of their income or social status. This is funded by high levels of taxation, with the aim of ensuring that everyone, from the wealthiest to the least fortunate, has access to the same basic necessities and opportunities. Income equality is another key aspect of the model. Nordic countries strive to minimize income disparities, ensuring that wealth is distributed more evenly across society. This is achieved through progressive taxation, where those with higher incomes pay a larger percentage of their earnings in taxes. And of course, the high standard of living is a hallmark of the Nordic model. Nordic countries consistently rank among the best in the world in terms of happiness, health, education, and quality of life. This is largely attributed to the robust social safety net and the focus on equality. The development of the Nordic model was influenced by a variety of historical and political factors. These include a strong tradition of social solidarity, a commitment to democratic governance, and a desire to balance the benefits and challenges of a market economy. It's a model that evolved over time, shaped by the unique circumstances and values of the Nordic people. In essence, the Nordic model represents a unique blend of economic efficiency and social equity. It's a testament to the innovative spirit of the Nordic countries, showing that it's possible to create a society where prosperity is shared and everyone has the opportunity to thrive. How does the Nordic model shape the Nordic societies of today? This question brings us to the heart of modern Nordic life. In the present day, the Nordic model continues to significantly influence the social, economic, and political landscapes of these countries. A notable feature of this model is the high standards of education. Nordic countries are often hailed for their excellent education systems, which are characterized by equal opportunities for all, high academic standards, and a strong emphasis on creativity and critical thinking. Then there's healthcare, a sector where the Nordic model shines with its universal access and high quality of care. The World Health Organization regularly ranks Nordic healthcare systems among the best in the world. This is largely due to the focus on preventative care, early intervention, and a well-coordinated, integrated approach to health services. Another cornerstone of the Nordic model is social security. Nordic countries have comprehensive welfare systems that aim to reduce poverty, support the unemployed, and provide for the elderly. This strong safety net is central to their societies, promoting social cohesion and reducing inequality. However, like all systems, the Nordic model isn't without its challenges. It's often criticized for its high tax rates, which some argue stifle economic growth and entrepreneurship. There are also concerns about the sustainability of the welfare state, particularly in the face of an aging population and changing global economic conditions. Yet, despite these criticisms, the Nordic model has proven to be resilient and adaptable. It has managed to maintain high levels of social and economic well-being, even in the face of global crises. The Nordic model, therefore, serves as an inspiration for countries around the world. It's a testament to the power of social democracy, the importance of investing in people, and the potential for creating societies that are not only wealthy, but also equitable and inclusive. Despite its challenges, the Nordic model remains a beacon of social democracy and equitable development. We've journeyed through centuries of Nordic history, from the Viking Age to the present day. But what does this all mean for us? In a span of 15 minutes, we've sailed alongside Vikings, watched kingdoms rise and fall, and witnessed the formation of the successful Nordic model. We've seen how the Nordic society transformed from seafaring warriors to peaceful, welfare-oriented nations. This journey has been a testament to the adaptability and resilience of the Nordic people. In the Viking Age, the Norsemen, known for their bravery and exploration spirit, left their mark across Europe. Their sagas and mythology continue to inspire us today, reminding us of the importance of courage and determination in overcoming adversities. Transitioning to kingdoms, we saw how the Nordic nations established themselves as powerful entities. The formation of these kingdoms played a pivotal role in shaping the region's distinctive culture and identity. It brought about a sense of unity and shared heritage which is still evident in the Nordic countries today. The era of industrialization and modernization brought about significant changes in the Nordic societies. It witnessed the transformation of the Nordic countries from agrarian societies to industrialized nations. This period of change paved the way for the development of the Nordic model. The Nordic model, a unique blend of capitalism and welfare, is considered one of the most successful socioeconomic models in the world. It offers valuable lessons on achieving social equality and economic prosperity. Understanding its intricacies and evolution can provide valuable insights for other nations striving for a balanced socioeconomic structure. Indeed, Nordic history is not just about the past. It's about understanding our present and informing our future. It's about learning from the transformations, the triumphs, and the trials of the Nordic societies. It's about appreciating the impact of these historical developments on the world stage. Thank you for joining us on this enriching journey through Nordic history. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Until next time.